Hello, 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 beautiful, amazing beings. Thank you for joining me yet again on this evening or day or whatever time it is for you. Just come online again to just chat and catch up and answer questions and just see how you're all doing, so to speak. I will be dropping much more through my mailing list very, very soon. So please make sure to sign up to my mailing list on my website if you want more sort of free meditations and things that I'm going to start sending over the next week. So, how is everyone? I'm just going to share this link because for some reason it doesn't actually share the link anymore. Have to fix it on my end or get a new sharing software and share this link in here. Thank you for joining, whoever's joining. I can't quite see at the moment. I'm just sharing this link, but I know there's a few people joining. Thank you for joining. Hi, Melanie. How are you? Just coming on to answer questions yet again. Any questions I'll try and answer. Obviously, if they're too personal, probably won't be able to answer them. But any just general questions or anything you want to chat about? Okay, Melanie has put, I believe I'm already connecting with my highest self. No. Because I'm not even connecting with my highest self. No one is. If you were connecting with your highest self, you would be connecting with the pure essence of yourself. And if you're doing that in the highest form, you would not be here. You would be too high vibrational frequency. You would be leaving in physical form, essentially. So no. Highest version of self is you on a soul level, which is love, which is creation. So if you become creation in this now, you sure as anything would not be staying here. It's too low frequency. You'll become too high frequency, and you'll have to leave, the same as Jesus or Yeshua did. You've got no way of staying here if you were connecting with your highest self. I've connected with very, very, very high versions of self within, parts of self that come from outside of the polarity field, even versions of self, as I channeled in the last session, that are within the frequency of love. But it's not the entirety of that which I am within the frequency of love, and it's not the entirety of that which I am throughout all of creation. In order to connect with the highest part of yourself, you have to become yourself in physical form. In essence, you have to connect with everything that you are, all as one in this now. That is your highest self. You, on a pure soul level, is your highest self. So if you're connecting with someone in this version of you in this universe, or a version of you in another universe, or a version of you even just outside polarity, or a bit further outside polarity, because there's realms and frequencies outside of polarity also that are not involved in the polarity, what I call the polarity fall, the illusion, so to speak. There's many, many realms and beings that are not involved in polarity at all on any level. And then when you go beyond that, because they're outside of, you could say, the frequency of that which they are, creating their own creations. And then when you go into the frequency that everyone is, the frequency of love, love as one, that everyone is, that's when you begin to really connect with very, very, very pure and high versions of self. Versions of self that are not trapped in any sort of loops, are not trapped in reincarnation, are not within polarity, have a very, very strong understanding of what's going on without the aspects of, light and dark, or whatever the aspects of a creational experience that some being is having. So you get a very, very pure understanding of what's going on. So you'll know if you're connecting with your highest self, because it's be very, very, it's undescribable. It's you are connecting with you on such a level that you see and understand all versions of you. I've only connected through versions through polarity. I haven't connected through all versions through um, the frequency of love. I haven't got that far yet, because it's literally infinite. And when you connect with the infinite part of self, you would not be staying here. You wouldn't be here anymore. You'd be too light for this frequency. As I said, when you connect with the frequency of love, you begin to understand that all the frequencies and all the realms within polarity is what they call the lower realms. They're very, very low frequency. We are in a very, very, very low frequency planet, a very low frequency realm, a very low frequency universe. This universe is very, very low frequency to the point that some beings outside of polarity cannot come here because they are too high frequency. And if they came here, they would break everything. They're so light, it would just destroy everything. That is also why higher, in essence, does not get too involved in what's going on in polarity, because if they did, they would break everything. Everyone would get fragmented, and everyone would become even more stuck than they are stuck at the moment. So the only way out is to break yourself out, because they cannot break you out. Because if they break you out, they break you more inwards, if that makes sense. So essentially, the only way out is... Okay, I'll answer another question. The only way out is to go through yourself. How do we know if we're trapped in reincarnation? Everyone is. Every single being in this universal system is trapped in reincarnation in some form. Even if they are, say, a being in a 12th dimensional reality, they usually get recycled in some form by beings that are in a slightly higher frequency than them. Everyone is cycling each other. Everyone within polarity, outside of polarity, they're not as stuck. But inside polarity, everyone is stuck cycling. They have been for a very, very long time. Because the idea of polarity was to essentially see if the true frequency of love could overcome that which is not love. Essentially, what you would call darkness. They created an aspect of light. They created an aspect of darkness. Dark versus light. Light was supposed to be love. Dark was supposed to be that which is not love. And would the darkness find a way back to love? And could love overpower darkness with the creation that is light? And essentially what happened is everyone got stuck because everyone began to choose darkness because they'd never, ever, ever experienced darkness as an experience. And they wanted to experience being dark. So you got beings that were very, very light that wanted to be dark as an experience and came down to experience themselves as dark and got stuck. They got lost in darkness. That's essentially why everyone is still stuck here. It's why the planet's controlled by darkness, because they control everywhere in this universal system. The whole universe is controlled by darkness, and you'll only notice this if you actually look from the frequency of love. Because you will not see it if you look from within polarity. You will not see it riding around the universe. You will not see it flying to the Pleiades or Archons or anywhere. You're not going to see how trapped everyone is. You need to go outside of the polarity field to truly see how trapped this universe is. It has been looping, reincarnating for millions and millions and millions of years. Trillions, actually, if you want to go. I can't even put a number on it. It depends what era. It gets reset sometimes. Because when it goes too dark, it resets. It's the way the system is set up. So it's why the fall in Atlantis, reset. Egypt, reset. Before then, reset. It resets when it becomes too dark. It does that all the time. It's the way the system's set up. So everyone has been resetting over and over and over again for trillions and trillions of years, to the point where now they don't even know who they are because they're so fragmented through trauma and issues with not understanding why they're stuck, that essentially now we're all looping in the same. It's the same lifetime, technically. You're going through the same lifetime over and over and over again, just having a different experience with the same lifetime. You're having the same lifetime you had when you came into polarity, and then you got reset, and then you're having the same lifetime, and then you got reset, and then you're having the same lifetime, and then you got reset, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. Like a computer program, yes. Well, you're technically correct. And scientists are starting to figure that out. It's not exactly a computer program, but it's a system. Everything is a system. Everything is a program down here. Because outside of love, it was a creation, or you could say program, to experience themselves as that which they are not. It was set up in a way of systems and the subconscious and superconscious, which also runs on systems. So you have the subconscious, superconscious systems, you could say. The subconscious and superconscious was created in the higher realms, above polarity. And then they brought that down into polarity to use it as an experience for everyone within polarity. It was originally designed, created to be a messaging system, a communication system between universal systems and planets and stuff. But then it got so taken over and controlled that it became split from the subconscious and superconscious minds of the people using it, or the beings, you could say, using it. And everyone became trapped within their own subconscious and superconscious systems. And now no one can, unless you begin to connect to who you are, connect to their subconscious in a way that they actually know what they're doing on a subconscious level. And that's specifically designed by the ones that essentially have kept you trapped here. It's a system. Everything's a system. Millions of people. Melanie's asking, what about people who chose to be here? Is that still the case? Yes. Yes, that is why most people are still stuck here, because it runs off collective still. Everything runs off a collective. Now, if you have a collective on a subconscious level that want to continue this experience, you will manifest continuing this experience. Unless you connect to the essence of yourself and you begin to get away from the collective, you could say, consciousness of the planet, and you become your own collective consciousness, which is love in physical form, because you become not only the collective of this earth, you become the collective of all that is. You become the collective of love in physical form, and then you can break yourself out. But usually everything, 90% of what is going on earth, what is chosen, what is truly going on, is on a subconscious level. It is not on a conscious level. So you could be on a conscious level wanting to leave, wanting to break free, but on a subconscious level, you don't at all. And if you're not connected to the subconscious, I've seen this so many times with so many beings, people that I've met, clients, where they say they want to break free and they connect to guides and Archons and they speak light language and they channel and all this. And then when you connect them to their subconscious will go, I don't want to leave. I'm loving it. What are you talking about? I want to stay. And their subconscious is overriding them. And they're unaware that their subconscious is overriding them. And your subconscious is choosing things over and over and over again. And the only way to connect truly to your subconscious, this is why they split it off so you are unaware of what you're truly doing, is to truly connect to yourself within. It's the only way. Because if you're not connecting to yourself, you're not going to connect to your subconscious. You're not going to understand what you're doing on a subconscious level. You're not going to break yourself free because, as I said, your subconscious would choose for you, especially on a multidimensional and a collective level. There's a lot of that going on. What is so special about Earth, you're asking? So, originally, Earth was created to be like a universal library for this universal system. It got essentially attacked, and all of the darkest beings in the universe were dumped here many aeons ago. Gaia managed to push most of them off. It's what you would call the lower realms. The demonic realms were once connected to Gaia. She used to have, you could say, them come through her systems to take over the libraries within her systems, and then essentially use the codes and the understanding of the universal system to take over universal systems, planets, realms. This is exactly what the demonic realms, you could say, gave to the reptilians. For the reptilians to destroy planets, they gave them technologies and understandings that came through Gaia's systems. You see, they stripped codes, understandings from Gaia in order to attack the universe. So Gaia, in essence, understands this universe better than any planet, any being in this universe. You could go into the other ones like Tara, and there's many different versions. Terra, Tara, many different versions of Earth, rebirthing over and over again, as we do. We cycle. But essentially, the Earth is important because Gaia has never, ever, ever chosen darkness. Never chosen darkness. Has always wanted light. Has always fought for light. Every single being on this planet and in this universe has chosen darkness on one occasion, or maybe 2, or maybe 3, or maybe 10. Every single being, every single person has a dark version of self somewhere, whether that's in the Pleiades, whether that's in another universal system, whether that is. You have dark and light versions within polarity. Gaia does not have. She was created as a library. You cannot create a library as dark and light. It doesn't work because it's just not going to work. You know, it's a library. It's meant to be a safe ground for all beings to come and learn about the universe. But essentially, it was taken over. You could say the library systems were taken over, and then Gaia's been trying to fight them off. The dark aspects of creation within this universe for a very, very, very long time. So, essentially, that's why she's special, because she doesn't choose to get involved, cannot actually choose to get involved in the polarity, in essence, of this universe, if that makes sense. Just going to answer some more questions. What is the role of God? Okay, let me explain this, and this might shock a lot of you. Okay, so God was a being that came down from the lower realms, from the higher realms, okay, to the lower realms, to this realm, to assist this plane of existence. A being that came from the frequency of love, as Yeshua did, as Jesus did. Jesus did not come from God. Do not think that Jesus came from God. Jesus came directly from the frequency of love. Directly. So from the frequency of love, that is all of creation, that's where Jesus came from. Into this earth to try and teach everyone that we are love, and the only way to break free is to connect to love within ourselves. Okay? He came from love. He didn't come from God. God is a being that came from love into this universe to assist this universe, got just as trapped as we are. Exactly the same. There's no difference. Pretty much every being that comes, apart from the ones that connect directly to the frequency of love fully and decide to break themselves free. The thing is, God chose to assist this universe, and in assisting this universe, took on all of the universe's issues, and in essence got stuck with the universe's issues. And without us fixing our own issues, God cannot fix his issues. You understand? So it was a bad move doing that. Essentially, it was a bad choice. You could say, from my point of view, it's a very, very bad choice doing that. But many beings have come from the frequency of love, as Yeshua did, and got stuck because they come to assist and they get stuck because there's too much darkness here. It is too controlled. Everyone's programming each other. Everyone's controlling each other. It's a mess. It is just a cycle of never-ending nonsense. 1 second, sorry. So, essentially, God, as you would call it, within this universe, is a being that came to assist and got stuck, and now is essentially stuck with the whole universe's issues and cannot break free because no one is deciding to fix their issues. Cannot fix issues unless people choose to fix issues. It is difficult to explain. I'm giving you in a short term. That is why God is not assisting here. Starving people in Africa, missiles going off, bombings, killings. God does not assist. Why? Cannot assist. Cannot assist. Why? Because entangled throughout everyone's issues throughout the universe. That being is completely entangled through everyone's issues. Came from the frequency of love, came to assist, decided to take on everyone's issues, got stuck, cannot do anything else because if tries to assist will cause even more issues. More entanglement, more issues. Understand? So whether you believe this or not, you will see this. When you connect to the frequency of love and you connect outside of polarity, you will see God over this universe, trying to fix this universe. Impossible. Because everyone is choosing to stay stuck or choosing not to break free. And because of free will, God cannot come in and fix all your issues. Although he wanted to come in and fix all your issues, cannot. Because there is, you could say, the understanding of free will. These polarity systems were built on 100% free will. And that is true. It was an experiment. It was supposed to be 100% free will. And because everyone got stuck and everyone is choosing to be stuck, essentially, and not breaking themselves free, God cannot come in and say, look, you have to leave. I'll break you free. You can't do that. I'll take you out of that. I'll heal this one. I'll do that. Cannot do it because of free will. Can assist through you, technically, but I wouldn't advise that because, as I said, God is entangled with every single being, light and dark, throughout this entire universal system. All of them. If you connect outside of the polarity field, you will not be connecting to God. You will not be connecting to any other beings but the frequency of love, which is just love. There is nothing else but love. There is no God. There is no light. There is no any type of creation other than love. It is just all love. It is very, very hard to explain. But it is creation at its purest level. And there is like creations outside of love, which are planets, universes, systems, polarity, gods, and stuff. These are creations. They're like programs. They're ideas beings have had. They've come from the frequency of love and said, I have an idea. I'm going to create a universe or a system. And I'm going to be a god here, or I'm going to run this, or I'm going to do that. It's a program. It's a system. It's a creation outside of that which they are. In essence, every single being, including God, is just love. There is nothing else but love. Everything else is a giant program, a giant belief system, a giant blah. It's a mess. If you look at it from the frequency of love, you'll see all the universes are within polarity are an absolute mess because everyone is just believing, getting taught. You're getting trained. You're going to school. You're learning this. You're learning that, but you're not learning to connect with yourself and break yourself free. And you've been doing this schooling through other beings and millions and millions and millions of years. You're just reprogramming yourself every single lifetime. Every lifetime is a reprogramming. But you're not truly breaking yourself out of any of the programs. And this is the issue. If this makes some sort of sense. Implants. What are implants? Good question. Okay, so implants, if you're looking at it from an ethereal point of view, you get obviously physical implants, which they'll start bringing out within the next 10, 15 years here. More fully. I'd advise probably not to take them, but that's obviously your own choice. Ethereal implants can come from any universal system within polarity. They don't use implants outside of polarity. It is not allowed because it is going against what you would call ethics. They do have ethics outside of polarity. There's not so much ethics here. Although they will say they do have ethics, but it's a bit of a mess because you have obviously dark and light aspects of everyone. So ethereal implants are basically programs that people have created. For instance, I'm in a higher realm. I decide to create a program that invades let's say a human system on an energetic level. It goes in, it attacks the cell lines and creates cancer. Okay, that you could say is an implant. You could also say it's a virus in some form, but you get things that will come in and attach to, you say, your chakra system and block your chakras, so you cannot connect to your energy bodies or cannot connect to your inner self or higher self. Implants are programs. They are programs, and they always have been programs. And you will get AI. Ethereal AI programs. If you tune in, you will see them as like AI beings, because in the higher frequencies they have AI also. It's not a soul, but it is AI. It's still a creation. They created it. It's a program, and they can use that program in a more energetic way to attack you energetically. Essentially, implants. Everyone usually has some sort of implant, because implants usually come through trauma also. So in one lifetime, you've had a very, very traumatic event. Maybe you've been killed by the reptilians and they've implanted you with something. Excuse me. So now every single lifetime you come back to life, you recycle, you've got that implant with you. It follows you through every single lifetime. It's a program. It's all a program. Honestly, everything down here is a program in some form. So what you're going to begin to see is implants as what they really are. They're just code and energy. Literally, sometimes beings, but even then, as a being within polarity, they're more than likely created within polarity because they can come from very, very far away systems, but it's very, very, very rare. So they're usually creations, programs created within polarity reality to attack and confuse and to keep you trapped here. It's exactly what implants are. Essentially, they're programs. Archons. Okay, archons are beings. What are archons? Beings. Archons come from a different universal system. They invaded this universe millions of years ago. Remember what I said about Gaia being invaded by darkness? The archons took on that fight also, and they tried to essentially take over Gaia. This was millions and millions of years ago. But archons are beings from another universe. Archons are not stupid. They are very, very clever. They have a very clever mind. They have a very clever understanding of how things work. They are not the same as demons. They're not the same as the demonic realms. Nowhere near. They come from a completely different universal system. They come from what you would call higher frequency. Well, I don't like saying densities, but like sixth density, you would say. Archons come from originally. If you're going through it in terms of densities, around about 6th, 4th, 7th density, the Archons took over a planet. They turned dark, took over a planet, and then they started taking over realms, and then they ended up, coming down to lower densities, what you would call lower densities. I don't call them this, but I see everything as one. But coming into here and attacking here, because this is a light place. Gaia has never chosen darkness. So Archons are very, very clever. And a lot of them have left the Earth actually because they're not stupid. And there's a lot of light coming into the planet, and they do not want to be here when the light's here. They're not stupid. They can go and drain another planet or another system. Now, demons are stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. They don't care. They do whatever they want. They don't care if there's light coming into the planet. They're completely different. So there's other beings as well, but Archons, are quite gnarly. They can be quite gnarly, but they don't really get too involved unless they have to, if that makes sense. Demons would just run amok and do whatever the hell they want because they're crazy. Absolutely insane, half of them. So unless they're like the big demons, the rest of them are tortured so severely. Demons essentially are like beings that have been tortured to the point where they've broken so much that they've gone completely dark and they don't know who they are anymore. That's essentially what demons are. Beings that have been tortured so much and have been messed up so much, they have lost their mind. They're gone. And you're going to see, they do a lot of yucky, disgusting, and messed up stuff. Yeah. I'm not going to go too deep into that. So if you lived in many different universes, was you still in polarity? Yes. That's the only issue because the universes are in polarity. Outside of polarity, they don't have universes. They don't exist. The universes are all in polarity. They're all controlled systems. They have been for a very, very, very long time. Not all universes, but 90% of them are. You have to keep connecting to yourself and understand what is truly going on outside of polarity. Because when you connect to a part of self outside of polarity, you will see that it is a mess here. Everyone is programming in each other. I'll teach you this. You'll learn this. You learn that. This is right. That's wrong. Do this. Do that. It's been going on for so long, millions and millions of years. No one knows who they are. No one knows what's going on. It's just, it's nonsense. So you need to just keep connecting to self, healing all traumatized versions of self, and re-establishing the connection with your soul essence. When you re-establish the connection with your soul essence, you become one with self. You connect with all versions of self in polarity and outside of polarity, and that's when you begin to see it all. And I mean, you're seeing everything that's going on. Like you're watching like a super movie. I can't even explain it. You're watching all of your lifetimes play out at once, but you understand what is truly going on by watching it all. And you're seeing that all within polarity are stuck. Everyone's stuck within polarity. They have been for a long time. It's why Yeshua came from the frequency of love here to assist people to break free, but didn't manage to do it because no one wanted to break free. So you have to just keep going. That's all you have to do. Keep connecting with self, keep healing your traumas, keep breaking into yourself. Because you have so many blocks, so many issues within yourself, you've got to literally break into yourself. It's been going on too long. Everyone's don't know what left and right is fully. I mean, on a soul level, no one's got a clue. Bring up meditation for breaking contracts. I can do that. The issue is, we can guide you to contracts to break, but whether you break them or not is up to you. That's the issue. I've taken so many people over the last 6, 7 months to break contracts, and you show them the contracts. Well, it's not me, it's their higher self showing them the contracts, and they just point blank refuse to break them. They will look at them, they'll see the contracts, they'll say, "Yeah, I see the contracts," and we'll say, "Well, what do you want to do with them?" Nothing. Quiet. Do you not want to break them? Nothing. Quiet. A lot of people, when you take them to their most densest, darkest contracts that they have, they will point blank refuse to break them. And that's when you know they're the ones that want to stay here. What you'll see then is their subconscious come in and begin to shut them down. And what will happen is they'll fall asleep or they'll just glitch out and they'll glitch out and you know their subconscious has just knocked them out. Because unless you're truly choosing to connect with yourself on all levels, and this is what I mean by being honest with yourself, you've got to be 100% honest with yourself. You can say, I want to break free, but when you truly connect with yourself, you may find, and I've done this many times, I will say, yeah, I want to do that. But when you connect with the pure essence of self, and then you connect with yourself within polarity, sometimes you go, oh no, I don't want to connect with myself. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. But you're telling yourself you are, you see? So you've got to, in order to truly break contracts, you've got to be very, very honest with yourself and open. It's about being open to anything. Because sometimes you end up going to versions of self when you're going to break contracts that have destroyed entire planets or systems or raped and pillaged, realms and all sorts. And at that point, everyone's got dark versions of self. At that point, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to heal your issues with that dark version of self. Give them a chance to choose light. Most of the time, they'll go no and they'll run away. That's fine because they've got their own experience. You can't force even another version of you to do, go to light or whatever. You can't do that. So they'll have their own experience in this now. And then essentially you've just got to be honest with yourself and you've got to keep breaking these contracts to the point where, and healing to the point where you've healed your dark versions of self. You've broken all of the dark contracts you have. You've broken all of the contracts you have that are not helping you. And you've just got to keep going to the point that you break enough to break yourself out into this now. And you begin to mold as one with yourself in physical form. And that's when you can truly begin to, do stuff you wouldn't even imagine. You can do stuff I'm not even going to go into yet. But you have to get to that point. So all realms I'm seeing in different frequencies, are they all just as trapped? Yes. Every single realm within polarity is trapped. Unfortunately, every single realm within polarity is trapped. Yes. It's just the way it is. The only way out is for each and every individual being to connect to themselves, which is the essence of love, which is creation. But usually when a being does connect to, in any system, connects to creation, connects to love, it's either The darkness, which is usually the reptilians, come and destroy them, or in this plane of existence, they get killed on a physical level. But the more you connect with self, the less that is likely to occur, and the less you can block it. So essentially, we're all in a giant hole that you need to get yourself out of by connecting with self, if that makes sense. What about ships visiting? There won't be any ships visiting. The issue with this is they can't get through. There's a barrier around the Earth and they cannot get through. No ship can get through. No one can get out. The only way out is to connect with the frequency of love, as I've already said. This is well written. There's a barrier around Earth. There is no way out. None. There's no way out. They're fully aware of this. The ones that control this planet, they're fully aware. There's a barrier around the planet. There's no way out. So there's no ships coming. They'll make ships and they'll make up ships, sure. They will do. There was beings that got trapped here before the barrier was put up. Many beings were trapped here that are not of this planet. Many beings are still here that are not of this planet before the barrier was put around the Earth. When the barrier's up, no one has left. Everyone's been stuck here cycling because no one's able to leave. You can't get beyond the barrier unless you connect with the pure essence of self. It's not possible. So the ships visiting are stuck here now. They're not stuck here now. They've been stuck here for millions of years. Most ships, well, 10,000 years, about 10,000 years ago is when the barrier was put up. Maybe a bit longer, around about 10,000 years. The barrier was put up. Any beings that were here before then and didn't leave are stuck. They've been stuck here for a very, very long time. They can't get out. It's not possible. Can't get through the barrier. What do you think they're doing in the Antarctic? They're trying to figure out how to take the barrier down. That's what they're doing. There's no way of them taking it down. It's not possible. So it was put there from a very, very high frequency. It's a barrier they cannot break through. So there's no ships coming in. There's no one coming to save you. This is what I keep saying. The only way out of here is through yourself, through connecting with yourself. No, as far as I'm aware, we're not on a flat plane of existence. It depends what timeline you look at, though. Some timelines we are on a flat plane of existence. Majority we're not. It depends what timeline. It's a collective timeline. When a planet is created, it's created in several ways. It's created through experience, through understanding, through love, and through creation, which is love, but through the creation of that being in that now moment. So when they're creating the Earth, it's usually created not just in one way, it's created in several ways until they get to, a main way of doing it, because time and essence is brought into it. Time was brought into this universal system many aeons ago, and time is an energy. It is something that does not exist outside of polarity, but it was brought here to assist, but didn't really assist very much. Instead, it assisted in getting people more trapped. It's a lot to take in. I'm giving you a lot of information. Yeah, it's what people call it's the barrier of the firmament. It's what people call the firmament, yes. It's unbreakable barrier. They have not found a way out of it yet. They cannot get out of it, but they're trying. They won't get out of it. The only way out is to connect to love and to break yourself through it. Essentially, it's the only way out. Okay, I'm gonna have to go now. The governments. It's what they're doing in Antarctica, Melanie. What the governments are doing. They're trying to break out. They can't. They're not going to break out. It's not possible. But they'll keep trying. Let them keep trying. Anyways, I'm going to have to get going. It's been wonderful to chat to you all. but I'm gonna have to get going because I've got some work to do. And I really appreciate you all. And I'll be back online tomorrow, and we can chat some more. But I hope this helps a lot more. I know this goes against everything you're being told and everything you're learning. You can believe me or not believe me. I don't expect you to believe me, but all I want you to do, all I want everyone to do, is truly connect with yourself. Get answers from yourself. Don't get answers from me. Don't get answers from anyone. You need to get the answers from yourself. You need to connect to self. You have to. It is the only way. No one is going to teach you to connect with yourself. It's not possible. They can guide you to yourself and assist you, show you the way and assist you by maybe creating a bit of safe space or something for you, but they can't actually take you to yourself. Only you can do that. And that's what you truly need to do. Anyways, have an amazing night, everyone, and we'll catch you soon. Okay, much love. Take care. Bye.